The snake test. One day, several young men were brought to the patriarch of the Immortal clan, who wanted to comprehend the taste of fruit from a tree, and asked to appoint a test for them. The wise one ordered to dig several pits near his dwelling and place the subjects there. A snake was thrown into each pit. After a while, the wisest with his disciples went to look at the young men. In the first pit sat a young man with a pale, petrified face. He pressed his back against the earthen wall, and nothing could make him move. Looking at the subject, the wisest said to his disciples, "This person will not be able to comprehend the teachings of the calm, because by nature he is a victim and will always be at the mercy of the winner. He will have to expend a lot of effort before he teaches thoughts to command the body." The second pit turned out to be empty. As the young man who was subjected to the test jumped out of it in fear and ran away. Looking into the pit, the wisest said, "The one who sat here will not be able to comprehend the teachings of the calm, because by nature he is a coward and cowardly thoughts possess his body. Such a person cannot even be a warrior." In the next pit, the wise man and his disciples saw a triumphant young man sitting proudly over a slain snake. The wisest shook his head sadly and said, addressing his disciples, "The one who sits in this pit has committed the act of a warrior, but he is not yet ready to comprehend the wisdom of the calm, since his body is controlled by the thoughts of a predator, and he is not able to see the picture of the world." In the fourth pit, the subject sat with a detached face, and a snake was crawling not far from him. "This young man," said the wisest, "sees the picture of the world, but he has the mind of an ascetic, which means he will not be able to live in harmony with others. It is too early for him to comprehend the doctrine of tranquility, since he neglects life and does not care about the body. Is it possible that none of the subjects will be able to follow the path of truth?" One of the students asked. "One should not ask," replied the wisest, "when one knows what to answer, for this leads to laziness of mind and helplessness in life. You should not interfere with the natural course of things, because by showing impatience, you lose the picture of the world." With these words, the wisest rushed to the last pit, in which he saw a young man without a shadow of confusion on his face and with a slight smile on his lips. The snake also showed no signs of anxiety, although it was not far away. Silently, the wisest departed from the pit, and only after entering the house, he said to the disciples, "To see the picture of the world and live in harmony with it, not to hinder the course of things, but to control their flow. Aren't these the sources of tranquility? Tomorrow morning, the one who passed the test will become your brother." Moisha and the tight shoe. Moisha comes to the rabbi, says he wants to divorce his wife. The rabbi begins to persuade him not to do this. "Moisha, why do you want to get a divorce? It will be worse for you." "No, I'll be better." Well, so they argue for a long time. Finally, the rabbi says, "Listen, Moisha. Your wife is so beautiful, so pleasant. She pleases the eye. Anyone dreams of such a thing. Everyone knows her virtues, and you want to leave her, why?" Moisha silently takes off his shoe and puts it in front of the rabbi. "What are you pushing your shoe at me for?" "Rebbe, look at this shoe." "Why should I look at this shoe? What does the shoe have to do with it?" "Rebbe, this is a wonderful shoe. Everyone sees how beautiful she is, how pleasant she is, how pleasing to the eye. Everyone wants to have such a shoe, but only I know how this bastard squeezes me." Found a purse of gold. One day Rabbi Chaim from Zan stood at the window and looked out into the street. When he saw a passerby, he knocked on the window and signaled him to enter the house. When he entered the room, Rabbi Chaim asked, "Tell me, if you find a purse of gold, will you return it to the owner?" "Rabbi," he replied, "if I knew who the owner was, I would return the purse without hesitation." "You're a fool," said the rabbi from Zanz. Then he went back to the window, called another passerby and asked him the same question. "I'm not such a fool as to give away a purse of money that I found," he replied. "You're not good," said the rabbi from Zanz and called a third. He answered the question like this: "Rabbi, how do I know what I will be like when I find my wallet? And whether I will be able to protect myself from evil will? Maybe she will prevail over me, and I will appropriate to myself what belongs to another. But maybe God, He is blessed, will help me cope, and I will return what I found to the rightful owner." "These are good words," the rabbi exclaimed. "You are a true sage." A dirty road and a beautiful girl. Tanzan and Akito were walking along a muddy road one day. It was pouring torrential rain. Passing by the intersection, they met a beautiful girl in a silk kimono and scarf, who could not cross the pothole. "Come on, girl," said Tanzan at once. He picked her up and dragged her through the mud. Akito said nothing and remained silent until they reached the temple. He could no longer restrain himself and said, "We monks need to stay away from women, especially young and beautiful ones. They are dangerous. Why did you do that?" "I left the girl there," said Tanzan. "Are you still dragging her?" Socrates. Noon was approaching. Socrates went for a walk outside Athens. He stopped to rest near a milestone about 5 miles from the city. At the philosopher's right hip hung a small knapsack. His lunch was in it. He decided to take an early lunch. But as soon as he bent down to his bag, a traveler got off the road and headed towards him. "Greetings, my friend. Could you tell me if I'm going to Athens the right way?" Socrates replied that he was going the right way. "Stick to the beaten path. It's a big city, you can't pass it by." "Tell me," the traveler asked, "what are the people of Athens like?" "Well," Socrates replied, "tell me where you came from and what kind of people live there, and I'll tell you about the people of Athens. I'm from Argos, and I am proud and happy to inform you that the people of Argos are the friendliest, happiest and most generous people I have ever known." "I am happy to please you, my friend," said Socrates. "The people of Athens are exactly the same." The traveler went on his way, and Socrates remained near the milepost. This conversation made him feel joy and pleasure from the kindness and humanity of the surrounding world. Therefore, his thoughts immediately turned to the flask that hung at his left hip. And just as he decided to drink from it, another traveler left the road. "Greetings, my friend. Am I going to Athens the right way?" Socrates confirmed that the road is correct. "Go straight ahead. It's a big city, you can't get past it." "Tell me," the traveler asked, "what are the people living in Athens?" "Well," Socrates smiled, "tell me where you are from and what kind of people live there, and I'll tell you about the inhabitants of Athens." "I am from Argos," replied the traveler, "and I hate to tell you this, but the people of Argos are the most dishonest, stingy and unfriendly people I have ever met." "I'm sorry to disappoint you, my friend," Socrates said, "but the people of Athens are exactly the same.